Welcome to my channel, Transform with Tarot. This is a tarot reading for the week of the 17th of November until the 23rd of November. It's a general reading, so we're looking at Spirit showing us through the cards from day to day which energies can support us in our movement forward and what can bring us to our highest purpose and for the greatest good. Now, these cards have been shuffled quite a few times, and so we will begin. Yes, that's it. In the weekend. Okay. So we're beginning the week here with the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is really that she's in a bubble here, and it's a really quiet, contemplative place that you might find yourself on Monday, really wanting to take stock. I'm hearing the word balance. So you might be feeling like you're balancing on multiple different projects, different timelines, different things that are competing for your attention. And it's really important to distance yourself from all the pulls and really focus on one thing at a time. It's super, super important to create the space to be within your own energy. And that usually means not to overwhelm yourself with trying to accomplish too many things at once. Seven is also about reconsidering the way you're planning things, and it doesn't mean that anything is out of, is completely wrong, but it really means that you will have more satisfaction and more things coming out well if you try to distance yourself a little bit from the process. There may be some things at the moment that the process is quite challenging, and there are a lot of different competing things asking for you to give them attention, and she's in the bubble, and I think that it's okay to focus on one thing at a time. And however, also really paying attention to how that's taking effect on your body, and to really just be peaceful with the fact that you need space, and that's okay. So there's a certain contemplation and a balancing, and it's okay for you to take space. Take space away from things that are coming up to try to shake you out of your comfort zone. There may be things that feel like they're kind of annoying. We have the devil here, so there's an energy that is drawing you into something that doesn't feel right. It might be that you're feeling like you need to confront things, or other people are actually confronting things that they don't want to have to face. And I would say that it's really important for you to remember that you can be in your own space, and you don't always have to be reading into the fears that are coming up from the energy that's around you. At the moment, there is a lot of energy in the world that people are focusing in on big changes that might be happening at a world level, and making people quite fearful, making people feel that they don't want to be manipulated anymore, they don't want to be controlled, they'd like to really get out of some sort of loops where they are not in their own power. And this can be really challenging for some. if this is not you, if you're not actually working through some levels of empowerment and feeling your personal power, I would say that it could be that other people around you are in that fearful place. Or if it's you, the way to combat that, rising fear or chaotic energy, or channeling into things that are outside of your control, things that are happening that may just be happening anyway. Focus in on what gives you pleasure, your body. Focus in on creating and carving out space. And the best thing to do that is presence. So having practices that bring you presence will really alleviate this feeling of fear, this feeling of getting trapped into things that you may think that it's your own. You may think that you're disempowered. You might think that you're being controlled. You might think that there's elements of things that are you seeing around you that are actually yours. I would say that they're not. I would say that you are a sensitive soul, and that sometimes means that you end up understanding that there is a lot of change in the world, and it's not yours. The feelings that people are having about change, the ones who don't like it, the ones who would rather be in total control, that's not you, that's not yours. Tuesday is that reconnection back to you and your craft. So it's you and the thing that lights you up. You are very close to taking the next steps. You have everything that you need to take the next steps. You have all the elements now. So you've worked hard to gather the things that you need to move out into new directions. So if you've started to, you've begun a new project, you have your eyes on a new project, a new role, a new place to work, a new creative endeavor, it's really all coming together now. The awareness of it coming together should be really strong for you on Tuesday. And we have another wands here. So the Knight of Wands is saying yes to whatever it is that you're contemplating. If you have great insights about how to move forward, the universe is really gifting you with the power of your own spirit, the power within, to really make it happen. So we go from 3 to 4. So you're building the elements, you're building all the things that you need, the foundations, the spiritual power, the resources you might need for you to go out and surf, to go out and into that new venture that you'd like to take. So if you are starting something new or you're contemplating it, it's building and it's taking time, and it has great energy behind it. I can really feel this huge enthusiasm in your spirit, in your endeavor, and there are going to be signs this week that you are moving in the right direction. You might even want to bolt forward really, really fast, taking quick action. And I would say just temper that a little bit and, allow things to keep building. But certainly if you are really contemplating and moving towards new directions, just know that it's happening and you're in the right path, you're in the right direction. You most certainly have hit like the jackpot of your awareness around what's feeling good for you, what's important to you. And this could just be small things, but whatever it is, you're on the right path. Wednesday sees moon energy, and the moon and the 10 of Pentacles, a very contemplative energy, and something that also feels almost like it's out of your control again. So where you're here feeling on Tuesday like you understand all the pieces and you're excited, it's like there might be a little bit more of that harnessing of your energy. And there's practical energy, there's logic, and there's magic, there's intuition, and there's acting in a methodical step-by-step way. I feel like this is about surrendering. There is a little bit of a need to let go of some level of control, because as you let go, you're going to really hone into your wild nature. There's something here about you don't need to follow the same track that you always have, and you're harnessing your wildness. You're harnessing the part of you that can't control everything, the part of you that needs to submerge a little bit, to enter into the watery unknown realms. And within that place of surrender and in that place of total releasing who you were, you begin to connect in with the practical steps. So as you become more wild, the practical becomes more obvious. This is an interesting way of looking at this card, but it really feels as though there's a letting go and a releasing. It's a shadow energy, so it's the preparation for this moon. The full moon in Scorpio can often be quite a depth of energy for people. It can really illuminate things that you perhaps never wanted to before. Perhaps you've hidden from them within yourself. Scorpio will always show you what is hidden within yourself, where you might be pretending, proving, trying to be something, trying to be right, trying, whatever it is. It's like Scorpio energy this week is preparing you, and this new moon energy is really preparing you for connecting all of your energies, not just letting things go and not facing what they are. You're learning to let go only so that you can be more of you, so that you can feel more of who you are and express more of who you are. This is really deeply about expression, and it might be overwhelming. It might be overwhelming to contemplate some of the things that you have done, that it's like there is this tendency sometimes, especially the Scorpio energy can be very hard on itself. It can be that things need to be almost difficult to get to where you want to get to. You might feel like things need to be really hard in order for me to create this change. But really, it's not the way anymore. It's not how you have to go about reaching your goals and being fulfilled. Here is a huge level of fulfillment, both personally, physically, materially. It's warm. It's very different from this cold, cool, deep depth energy of Scorpio. I feel like allow yourself to be there, allow yourself to see what it is that you may be trying to prove to other people that's not serving you. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to prove the things that are hard. They don't need to hold you back. Sometimes we let things that are hard hold us back because that's the way they've always been, and we get stuck in that belief system. But this is saying here that step into a bit more of your warmth. The warmth is coming to show you that it's not hard. It's not as hard as you thought it was. It doesn't have to be hard. You can definitely have joy along the journey. You're welcome to have joy. It's your God-given right to have joy, is what I'm hearing with this one. By Christmas, this will be a huge celebration time with family, with friends, with animal friends, and just a real sense that you have created all the things in your life that bring you joy, and things are really lining up to allow that to happen. And the fact that you've taken the time to go deep, the fact that you've taken the time to explore what blocks you, it brings just a real joy in your connections. This peacefulness. This is peace. This is true peace here. And you'll really get a sense of that, and pulling yourself up and out of the depths and into the light, into that connection, into joy. And Thursday is, again, there's this warmth. I feel a lot of warmth in the energy here this week. And it's the warmth of inner passion. It's the warmth of beautiful connections, feeling love, feeling in your heart, and just feeling embraced by, can be very much about partnership, a new partner, being embraced by the feeling of, revitalizing the relationships that you're currently in, revitalizing your connections, your passions. Very much a passionate energy here, and I feel like you're spiraling into new levels. You're spiraling into new depths of yourself. It's a really new spiraling, like a totally different time on your timeline. I can really feel that something great and new is coming in for you with this new moon in Scorpio on Thursday. You can draw it in, you can pull it in, but I also just feel that it's a time where, regardless, you're being moved. You've done some work, and the universe is moving along the timeline for the connection of human beings. The connections need to be repaired, and that comes with repairing yourself. It comes with really being honest with yourself, being loving and gentle and kind with yourself. All of these things help you to be loving, kind, gentle with the great things of others, the not so great things. We have all of them, and we can embrace and we can accept and be with both the light and the dark for ourselves, but also in others. Give others grace. Give others the place to make mistakes, to be wrong. Just be gentle. This is really about embracing passion and also being gentle. And being gentle also comes to when you are in a space of change and it feels a little bit grabby. It feels a little bit like, there has to be rights and there has to be wrongs and there has to be the ways forward, and it has to be all these things that you feel that it should be. And as soon as it's not, it's like, oh my goodness, my world's tumbling down. But it really isn't. It's not tumbling down, it's actually just dismantling. When you have arguments, and when you can step aside from that argument and step out of the blame game, step out of I'm right, you're wrong, or and you can really reflect on, what am I actually trying to achieve here, and just give yourself a bit of space. Sometimes when we're caught up in that argumentative space, it's very hard for us to be peaceful, both with ourselves, with the situation. But really what I see here is that it's important to shake the energy up. So don't be hard on yourself if you are finding things hard, if you are grasping for things that slip away quickly, or whether that's ideas or the ways you're communicating with others. Sometimes there is that energy of change where it needs to be a little bit of a shake up in order for it to actually transform. So 5 is a transformative number. If you think of the home, it's the 4, it's the foundations, the 4 pillars. The 5 is building the top of the home. It's that 5th element that is needed to actually put the roof on. So if you can think of it like that, any challenges that you're having, the 5 is the energy that's needed to get things going, to really move them along, to put that roof on the home. You've created foundations. What's the next? Next is reaching higher. It's coming up again. So it's coming up after you stumble. It's coming up after you argue. Coming up for breath, coming up for air. Being okay with some of that friction and just knowing that it will settle and the energy there is necessary. Friday is telling a completely different story. So Friday, I think the moon will be moving into Sagittarius. And what we have here are cups and wands. So we've got the 3 of cups. And this is a really comfortable, embracing feeling. So by Friday, you will feel like you've been on a bit of a journey this week. And a lot of it is about how do you regard your passion, what brings you peace, and helping you to move towards peace and away from the arguments, the drama. This is really about coming back into a really peaceful place, feeling quite comforted and nurtured by your connections, and realizing that it takes many people and more than just yourself to, create a vision and to make things happen. It's really beautiful when you can allow the support and to grow with community of people. It's worthwhile to ask people for support on Friday if you are needing it. I'd say that you can perhaps feel a little raw after that new moon on Thursday, and something that's sort of edgy and perhaps creating a bit of friction. I think that by Friday, if you ask for support and help, it will be there. And that's a really important way to look at yourself when you're just wanting to take off independently. So you have everything that you need, but what you also, and you're doing it here on your own. The Ten of Wands, she's leading this new pathway. She is leaving things behind. She's really going out on her own, and she's reached a culmination of all the things that she wanted to in terms of her life goals. She's starting to recognize that things are coming to an end and there's a new beginning for her. And it's quite a loneliness there in perhaps the battles that you might feel like you have fought really hard to earn. Don't forget that you can share it with others. And it's not only a self-battle. Like, life doesn't have to be hard. The Scorpio energy, it's important to go deep, and it's important to realize that that's purely just for self-empowerment and for joy and bliss and all the things that make you happy. And same here, it's not only about the acknowledgement of what you've come through and how far you've been, because you have had a challenge. It has been challenging. I'm hearing 10 years of challenge, 10 of Wands, 10 years of challenge. And you're letting that go now. It's really important to have this culminating feeling where you actually realize, like, to hell with this. I'm letting this drudgery go. I'm not doing it all on my own. I'm having joy. I'm having friendships. I'm having community. I'm having other women around. I'm having nurturing people, whether that's men or women. I want nurturing now, and I'm going to get that. And it's not going to be all in my control. I have to let go of a little bit in order to ask for help, in order to connect with others. I need to stop thinking I'm the only person who can do everything, who can create everything. And the Emperor here on the weekend is similar. It's kind of like a flip-flop between connection and I can do it myself. Connection and, I know the only way is my way. And this is very safe. He feels safe. He is a little bit held back by, you know, he knows the moves to make. He doesn't look like he's really connecting with anyone. He's very aloof, and it's protection. That's the way that things have always been. You are starting to realize that you're being on your own, doing it on your own, making your own moves, controlling things has been a really safe connection, like a way for you to do life. It's enabled you to be safe, and it's okay that you've used that level of independence and autonomy and control in the past. And it's also time to bring in the movement of the flow and of going with the flow, which is very opposite and different to this Emperor here. The King of Cups brings in that softening in your being, that real softening into your heart space. The Emperor says, my way or the highway. The Emperor says, I don't care what you think, I'm going to do it anyway. It's the 4-year-old, and it's okay, of course, it has its place, and it also has to balance things out. Because if you're only moving in this way, you're not going to have these connections. And you're not going to have the fulfillment of community, of things coming together in a very spiritual, guided way. This one here is more holistic. This King of Cups here is really scorpionic energy. It's embracing all aspects of the dark and the shadow and the light. Embracing flow, embracing gentleness. And it's really sometimes about just laying back and saying, hey, how about you take care of that? I'm cool. I can let things go. I can be the starfish. I can just let things go. I can observe things more and allow things to wash past you. You are moving on into a new direction, so there's no fear that things are not moving. Sometimes you feel that you need to get things going. You need to be the doer. You need to be the one that tells everyone what to do. You need to disconnect and create the changes on your own. And the King of Cups is really coming to say, hang on, slow down. Your ship is sailing. It's sailing because of your centeredness, because of your peace. There's a lot of movement that comes from actually letting go. There's like movement that comes from being at one and at peace. People think that they have to move, do, be in control, work late, work harder, work more. But this one here is saying, actually, the opposite is true. Get into the cool waters, feel the water and the sunshine on your face. Walk in the water, ground, be peaceful, go to the beach, have showers, swim, whatever it is, by the ocean. It's very important to be by the ocean, to realize that you actually in that place, when you're relaxed, when you're calm, when you're tapping into your calmness, that's when things are really actually moving. The other stuff is just the hard stuff, and you're probably not moving much at all. So that's the reading for the week. I'd like to read one more from the Spirit Animal. This is the Spirit Animal Oracle, Colette Baron Reid. And I love these animal cards. Let's see if the energy is similar to the rest of the reading. Oh, we've got two. We've got Whale Spirit and Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time. And oh, how sweet. There's two little rabbits. So there's 3 here. And we have Whale Spirit, Trust the Great Mystery. So I'll read a small part from each of them. So 49. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 49. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 50. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 51. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 52. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 53. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 54. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 55. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 56. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 57. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 58. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 59. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 60. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the great mystery. 61. Rabbit Spirit. Rabbit Spirit, trust the gre A sunny meadow calls and rabbit spirit appears to lead you out of your dark warren and into the light so you can participate in a fertile and beautiful experience. It may seem safe below ground, but the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new. You are being invited into a new life that you have no experience with. But have no fear. Today is also a time to be fruitful and productive as you enjoy Rabbit Spirit's sunny and prolific energy. Beautiful. And the Whale Spirit energy. Whale Spirit is an ancient creature who was here at the beginning of time and who has seen everything, felt everything, and heard everything that has ever transpired on this planet. In the hidden realms, where all things must gather first before manifesting into form, Whale Spirit is the keeper, singing the soul of the whole world from the deepest waters of the coldest seas. When Whale Spirit appears, it's a reminder that there is a great mystery that you must accept without intellectually trying to understand it. I think that's part of what the energy was we were talking about with the moon here. Some things cannot be known by the mind, only experienced through the heart, through intuition and through the peripheral senses that part the invisible veils separating the visible world from the great manifesting consciousness in the hidden realms. Now is the time for you to immerse yourself in the great mystery of spirit and to trust that within the invisible, what you can't see now are the seeds of your intentions being tended to by angels. Beautiful. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful week.